Hello everyone, I am Austin Liu, and today I am going to talk with you guys a very weird topic. The wall. Now, imagine this. You're on Sunday night, you're strolling down the path, you're going towards something you truly want. Love, prosperity, success, freedom. And then bam, you suddenly hit something. That, my friends, is known as the wall. The wall can mean rejection. The wall can represent failure itself. The wall can also represent our limitations, either physically or mentally. The wall can represent lots and lots of things that can hinder us. Our instinct is actually very simple when it comes to overcoming such barriers. Break it, destroy it, get through it. I mean, why not? Many of us know about the importance of breaking down barriers. But what if the wall is almost impossible to break, that our conception is entirely false, and that some walls are boundless in its own dynamic? Well, in order to confront that question, we have to think deeper about the wall. We have to think deeper about its characteristics. In order to understand the why, or the how, we have to decipher these two questions. But in order to get to a root cause of confronting your own fears, confronting barriers, we have to figure out the why. In order to truly understand what the wall is made out of. When I was auditioning for the speaking contest here in Shanghai, I was overwhelmed by stage fright. I couldn't even stand properly. I usually walk around a lot. I couldn't even speak. I sometimes stutter a lot. Heck, I couldn't even pronounce a couple of simple words that I learned back in kindergarten. That's how stage fright troubled me before. And then I practiced a lot. I tried to go out of my comfort zone. And despite all of this, despite the fact that I looked very confident, despite the fact that I won first place and second place in these contests, I was not fulfilled. My goals, my aspirations are not fulfilled. I was always hindered by the wall itself. I was hindered by it. And sometimes, when these occurrences happen, people will ask, how will I deal with it? If I couldn't confront it, who am I? What am I? This is actually a very hard experience for most of us. When it comes to overcoming setbacks, we couldn't confront them directly. What should we do now? We have to realize one thing. Sometimes, no matter how hard you succeed, the walls never break. It's a pessimistic viewpoint, I know. But how do we cope with them? Survival of the fittest, they say. The fittest doesn't have to overcome these barriers. What the fittest have to succeed by coexisting with these barriers. The insurmountability of these barriers doesn't mean unsuccessful attempts. You gotta realize that in order to truly be yourself. And we gotta figure out another question, another very important question. Why are we always saying that we need to tear down the wall? Why? I mean, is the other side good? Is the other side brilliant? How would you know? You're always being burdened by this wall. You're always being confronted by this wall. You're always being blocked by this wall. How do we know the other side is perfect? How do we know the other side is a mystical kindergarten or a land that we can all enjoy, that the kids can enjoy, that the adults can enjoy, that everyone can enjoy? How can we assure that it's going to happen? How? We haven't seen it. How do we know? Everything stands for a cause. Everything we fight for stands for a cause. The reason why we study has a cause. The reason why I'm here sharing my ideas with you guys has a cause. The reason why the school is here is for a cause. Why are we fighting for something that has no cause? Why are we fighting for this wall that we don't know almost nothing about? So that's why we gotta understand the why. And that's why we gotta understand one thing when we come to conceptualize the why about the wall. The wall sometimes cannot be broken. But the walls can sometimes mean other stuff. The walls we can live with, the walls we can persevere with. The walls are just sheltering us from the outside. Us teenagers, we're not being burdened by societal pressures. Heck, we're not even burdened by monetary pressures. We're just teenagers. We do not get up at 6 a.m. in order to get to the nearest job destination. We do not even have jobs. Most of us, I believe, don't even have jobs. We're not being confronted by societal burdens. And this confrontation is created by the boundary, by the societal boundary, by the school boundary that we have. It could be physical, and also could be mentally challenging sometimes. So that brings me to another conclusion, that the walls are sheltering us. Instead of treating it like a complete stranger, once we figure out the how, it's protecting us from the outside. It's protecting us from external force. It's protecting us from setbacks. It's protecting us from societal pressure. And the positive aspect of coexisting with it is not actually surrender. When you adapt through these confrontations, when you adapt to these setbacks, when you adapt to the troubles, you'll finally understand that the cause of adapting to the wall itself is the best way for you to demonstrate your capabilities. Since the flexibility you have when it comes to adaptation can represent one single very important aspect of our daily lives, flexibility. If we're flexible enough, we can understand a multitude of things. A multitude of things that can protect us. A multitude of things that can shelter us. A multitude of things that can help us thrive in the modern society. I know we're always being confronted by technological hurdles, or even societal pressures, or even school-related pressures. But through all these barriers, they're there for something that's truly important. They're actually redefining who we are. And in the end, I want to impart you guys a simple quote from Julius Caesar. Veni, vidi, vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. Conquer your own destiny instead of being manipulated by the wrong thoughts of others. Since sometimes others' perception of things may not always be the best cause. What others think is not what you should do. And what you should do may not always be what the others think. The uniqueness of human life rests upon every individual. So that's why, everyone, you should try to coexist with the wall. Help it redefine you instead of being redefined by circumstances that you cannot control. Thank you.